number 1. There we go. They are waiting and wondering and contemplating. Every athlete has their own process before the start of a match. They have their way of getting prepared. And we are now prepared to bring you this women's doubles contest. The time is now. A place in the third round awaits. The round of 32 in the women's doubles competition. And we have Cha Soo-young and PAK of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, world number 163 ranked partnership. They will take on WANGMANYU and KUAIMAN of the People's Republic of China, one of the top ranked duos out there. However, there could be more to this than meets the eye in this best of 5 games doubles format at the World Table Tennis Championships 4. These two were silver medalists at the Asian Games in Hangzhou. So it might be an occasion for us to not be too sentimental about the numeracy and to focus instead on what these players can actually bring to the table now that they meet each other for the first time. Could be a real test for Wong and Kwai, but we will find out as the action begins. Congratulations to all of the officials on their selection for these World Table Tennis Championships, and we'll now have the toss of the coin.
And we just have a quick look on your racket. Okay. Okay. Red or blue? Blue, okay. Red for you. Blue. You receive. Okay, you will serve. Which side? And service. First server. You serve. Cha. Cha is first server. And Kuai, okay, first receiver.
Cha Soo-young will start with ball in hand. It is my great pleasure at this time to be joined by Adam Bobrow. Adam, to what extent are we going to really think about the ranking here?
Well, this is one case where we would probably have to completely ignore it. I think within the continent of Asia, the strongest continent in the world, this is a pairing that doesn't get a lot of participation points. And while world rankings obviously have something to do with results, you can't get results without participation. So, for me, the DPRK team is just always exciting to watch and is impressed time and time again. It's one of my favorite things about this event.
They were the silver medalists at the Asian Games in Hangzhou, making the final, losing to Jeon Ji-hee and Shin Yu-bin. As we focus on what is at stake, 2,000 ranking points, but something more tangible than that, something that will never go away, the opportunity to be immortalized as a champion of the world. If you are the last pair left at these World Table Tennis Championships finals. Wonderful occasion, wonderful to have your company wherever you are joining us from. Yes, they were so successful at the Asian Games. They won the semi-final on a great day for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea at those Hangzhou Games. The same day as Kim Il-kyung broke the world record in weightlifting in the 59 kilogram weight class. Well, the weight of expectation is with Wong and Kwai here. 87% of you thinking that they will be the winners. No great surprise there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the national sport of China. I was thinking about pressure, and we'll talk about that throughout the match. Just a little reminder to the viewers that in doubles, players must alternate shots. And must serve from the right side of the table on the diagonal. The only time that thin little gold line in the middle of the table means anything. Here we go.
One love.
Adam, what do you think we're really looking for tactically here, particularly from those two?
controlling the short game, making a quality opening attack, and sharing the space. And that said, it hasn't been easy. The quality of shot coming back. I mean, the players from DPRK that I've met over the years, we've communicated using Mandarin. Many of these players have trained in China, use Chinese setups, and study from the best, the Chinese.
1-2.
In the first round of the competition, the partnership of Wang and Kwai beat Katarzyna Węgrzyn and Zuzanna Wielgos of Poland, 11-9, 11-5, 11-3. And their opponents beating Jennifer Swetabut and Kulapasa Vijit Vidiyagul, 11-4, 11-7, 9-11, 11-9. They had a tough contest, the athletes from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
And I think that's good for them. You don't want to warm up that doesn't really get you properly ready for the next round. So a little bit of a test off the blocks can be a good thing.
3-all.
It's an interesting one, that, isn't it? There are quite a lot of athletes who say exactly that they want to be pushed hard in an opening contest at a big occasion.
It's a fine line between the danger of losing and also getting a proper warm-up. So 7-game opener, depending on the event, could be exactly what you want. Here it's a best of 5, so first pair to win 3 games will take the match. We've seen physical fitness out here from PAK and Cha, and I do think that in terms of pressure, if you only get 1 or 2 events a year, you make the most of that opportunity.
3-5.
We've seen the level of focus. I had a chance to be right table side during their training and their warm-up, and just incredible, I'd say, yeah, focus, determination, practice unlike almost any other team.
Very interesting start to this match. Little signs here and there of the challenge that exists in Cha Soo-young and Pak Soo-gyong. High quality players, that is very clear.
Let 3-6.
We also have to remember the advantage of a right-handed, left-handed pair. Easier to share space in doubles.
7-3.
And this shot right here, she's got the space for that big swing. One of the taller players on the Chinese team, the 2021 Women's Singles World Champion, WANGMANYU, with that big forehand stroke for the win.
8-3.
So if I'm not mistaken, 6 straight points for the Chinese pair after being down 2-3.
This is something that we have seen on goodness knows how many occasions from the top competitors from the People's Republic of China. That ability to manage the crux of a game when things are close, to push right through and run away.
Beautiful flick inside the table here. That forehand flick is one of the toughest shots in the game because you don't have much wrist flexibility for it, but executed perfectly here.
A little benefit from the net called, perhaps.
Good amount of underspin on it there. She really came in with a nice open racket, accelerated quickly to generate heavy underspin, which is why it came back into the net.
Oh, fascinating point. Getting a sense, aren't we, of the extent to which they can really go toe-to-toe with the Chinese pair.
Yeah, the quality of shot in this rally. They were backhands to start. Look, that was a last-minute change, too. She was set up for a forehand, and still that much power, authority, and quality in the rally.
6-10.
Nonetheless, here is where we find ourselves. 4 game points to Kwai and Wang. And the opening game has been secured at the first opportunity by the number 2 seeds. Nonetheless, some complications, some issues, but some good work from the partnership of Guaiman and WANGMANYU. 11-6, they have the first. Now, this is a fascinating moment. Lea Rakovac has knocked out Miu Hirano.
The Hurricane Miu Hirano is the only non-Chinese player to win a Women's World Cup, and she was the youngest to do it. You can understand the emotions flowing out here with so many expectations on the table. Tough times, but a lot of bright times ahead, I'm sure, for a player who's been a notable name, a great threat to China since she was a teenager. And who knows, really, with so many young players behind her. 24 years old is the upper end of the Japanese women's team, so you can understand that feeling of maybe this will be the last chance.
And as we see the rawness of the emotion there, we would all do well, wouldn't we, to remember that first and foremost, that's a human being. Yes, it's an elite athlete, and yes, there's expectations of wins, but that's a human being who's experiencing real pain there and needs some supporting and needs some kindness and some empathy. We go to game number 2. What do you make of the start so far? What do you see as their route back into this?
Well, I would say for the DPRK pair, that's really impressive. It's not going to be easy to win points this way, but it just shows the agility and the ability to create a forehand. This ball's perfectly into the elbow and off balance, hitting a winner from a step behind. I was going to say that I think a bit of surprise, playing to the wide forehand early where possible could be very effective. And that's the right idea here, looking for that wide forehand of Guaiman to get her crossing over, setting up an out-of-position situation.
We must remind ourselves that we haven't had the chance to see this partnership in action since the Asian Championships in Astana last year. They went out there in the round of 16, won their 3 position draw matches. They also both contested the singles competition. Oh my word!
A taste of her own medicine. It comes right back on the diagonal, the safe distance of the table. And 2 right-handed players, a bit more ground to cover there. And the most classic tactic in the game, hit it right back at the player who just hit the ball. One step faster this time, a save. Again, it wasn't a powerful shot. It was just enough to give the opponents one more chance to force them to make a better shot. The chase almost paid off here. Was that the last point? I felt like I remembered it differently in my head. Crazy. Table tennis is fast.
They're just so good, aren't they, those two, at holding the table, at forcing others to move to their plan.
Guaiman is one of the best in the world. It's still pretty fascinating. She didn't qualify for singles. But she's not the only surprise in that way. Kenji Matsudaira on the men's side. I mean, this story is all around. The idea that you put the players in high-pressure situations to earn it, not let them rest on the laurels of their ranking.
6-3.
And that goes back to something that you brought up at the very start of this contest, the notion of pressure and the pressure that rests on their shoulders, that rests on the shoulders of any Chinese table tennis player.
Good timing this one, a compact backhand as Guaiman stays near the table with that short stroke and the racket high. Just watch the height of Guaiman's racket. Only dips it ever so slightly to add a little bit of topspin to the shot on the counter.
They're doing a lot right, aren't they, PAK and CHA?
Yeah, the quality again of the returns, they last longer than you would imagine most pairs would against Guaiman and WANGMANYU.
Oh, what a super bit of defence.
9-3.
A lot of players, one feels, would actually have won that point.
It feels like a winner, this right here. KUAIMAN moving the other way, ducks and covers, leans back to the backhand corner and defends herself, only to set up what? But just the winner itself.
Great success on serve, over 3/4 of points won.
10-3.
And second game nearly won. 7 game points now. Oh, they're making this look
11-3.
outrageously simple.
11-3.
11-3. This is a lovely display from the number 2 seeds. It's authoritative.
Yeah, we know their opponents are quite strong out here. Cha and PAK playing some outstanding table tennis, but leaving very few holes in their game. The Chinese pair living up to their seeding. The second seeds 2-0 up.
This is how it looks, the world rankings, and what a fascinating picture at the very top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, 2 Japanese pairs and defenders who are big sisters and then some. I mean, Hitomi Sato and Honoka Hashimoto are well older than Miyu Hirano, who's already on the older side of the Japanese team. Great to see the choppers that high in the world
game.
rankings.
Cha to serve. Love all.
Let's go to game number 3 and see if anything changes.
1 love.
Just a quick touch up on the choppers. That means if you enjoy watching Sato and Hashimoto play, you'll be able to see them at a lot of smashes this year because they are very relevant in 2025.
Is it possible not to enjoy watching Honoka Hashimoto play? I could do it all day.
I don't understand. I know people that say they don't like defense. They just love the big, powerful attacks. But, yeah, I could watch her all day, too. One of my favorites.
1-2.
Well, this is a positive start.
Similar to what we saw in game number 1. That said, it's tough to hold on to a lead against strong opponents, and Team China seems to know how to finish a game. Here's an excellent shot, slow and spinny. KUAIMAN gets a long stroke, a lot of racket speed on this forehand. That elbow far from the body, which makes the ball really accelerate off the bounce and kick up.
Not the easiest task, one imagines, being a coach in this sort of situation. How do you counsel your players when they're taking on the number 2 seeds? How do you choose your words carefully? How do you find the right guidance, not to overwhelm with too much information?
Yeah, Coach Kim has a lot of experience. We've seen him over the years.
3-4.
Could hear Ma Lin, a bit of passion from the bench. Not a game dropped. That's the idea. I think after the World Cup, especially on the men's side, Hugo Calderano causing some quick meetings for Team China. Caught the edge of the table here. KUAIMAN. It's funny, there was a TTR call for an edge the other day with Hugo himself, and it didn't work out in his favor. It's cool to have the review here, the video review.
4-5.
Just to go back to what you were saying there about the Chinese response to Calderano's success, it was interesting to watch Wang Juqin against Leonardo Izuka, the young Brazilian coming through, and I wondered there if Wang Juqin was really rather keen to get a win against a Brazilian.
Yeah, for one, and also get through a younger player. I mean, with Benjamin Faraji here, this is, you know, Wang Juqin did not have the smoothest ride through the second half of last year. There was a lot of turbulence, and a reminder that no matter your world ranking, the top several hundred on a good day
6-5.
could beat anybody in the world.
And that is why we love the World Table Tennis Championships and why we love having your company at the Lusail Sports Arena in Doha. Much tighter game this, but will we see,
6-all.
as we find ourselves at 6-all, that oh so familiar sight of a great partnership like Wang and Kwai pulling away at the business end of the game? Let's discover, as we are really level.
I love the hand here. WANGMANYU, watch. Okay, we saw it the first time. She put her hand to her head as if to say, I'm sorry, I could have done better. She played a good shot, but it was predictable, and you saw the response.
7-6.
What do you think has changed?
Well, first of all, I think the, DPR Korea pair have, one, made their opening shot count. Two, they're extending the angles. They're deciding quicker. They're staying closer, and they're using the short game very effectively. And this is a risk they have to take. If I'm Coach Kim Hyuk-bong on the corner for the DPRK team, I'm saying that's right. Shot selection is the name of the game. You also sort of wonder, what if she had dropped it short to the deep backhand of KUAIMAN?
8-7.
I think it's a combination of the willingness to take a risk, the belief to know that it's possible, and to recognize it early so that you have time to set up.
7-9.
And look at what's happening. The acceleration at the close of the game that we have witnessed time and time again. They need solely 2 further points. That's extraordinary. Oh my goodness! Crikey!
8-9.
Recovering an edge, KUAIMAN's lob. I mean, that would have hit her square in the forehead if she didn't block it back, and it somehow came down on the table. This one right here turned sideways. The focus that was played here, the edge ball, that sends her even deeper behind the table. That is an incredibly difficult shot.
10-8.
And yet, we find ourselves at 2 match point opportunities. Can they keep this going? Can they prolong their stay? Pak Soo-kyung and Cha Soo-young facing 2 match points. Oh, how well saved.
10-9.
Bit of inside out on this as she bends the ball to the wide forehand. I talked about the wide forehand earlier. It really depends on where the opponent is standing, and she recognized that KUAIMAN was a bit to the backhand corner. Good awareness.
A very fine effort and a very close final game. But ultimately, as expected, the number 2 seeds have secured a straight games win. We saw moments of such high quality from Pak Soo-kyung and Cha Soo-young, but victorious are KUAIMAN and WANGMANYU. 11-6, 11-3, 11-9. On they go to the 3rd round of the competition. Job done.
Yeah, indeed. I think experience is the best teacher, and I'll be very curious to see how it is in the